We're live. Hi guys, good evening. My name is DJ.
And I'm Melissa.
And yes, today you are watching our daily
Daily
live
Lives.
or
Our 90
nightly
day challenge.
nightly
Day
live.
33.
This is not day anymore, it's night. So
Yeah. Yeah.
should we call it nightly live?
Yeah, we
Is
can.
there such a word, nightly?
Nightly live.
Um, anyways, yeah, for those of you who are just checking us out, probably saw us on an ad or
Yeah.
or a stream somewhere.
Yeah.
So what do we do
Hello.
here? What do we?
And we are DJ and Melissa. We are online business mentors. We help families get set up in the online space by
Mhm.
starting their very own online business. We provide all the tools, the system, the mentorship, and pretty much everything that you need to get started and make it successful. Oh, I love that.
She nailed that one, you guys. She nailed it.
That's
Awesome.
a good one.
Yeah, she nailed it. So today is an awesome day.
Yes.
What did we do today?
Yes, today is a busy, busy day.
Mhm. Busy
We
indeed.
had
Yeah.
baptism, right?
Mhm.
Slash birthday party.
Mhm.
And we started ever since this morning at 10 in the morning.
Well, I woke up at 6:30 in the morning.
Oh, yes, you started your day
My
early.
yes, that's
Yeah.
right.
I woke up at 7 o'clock. So 30 minutes
About 30 minutes,
later.
yeah. And I started the laundry, you guys.
Yes.
And I finished it
Yeah.
just now, tonight, right after our service.
Good job.
And this is my second week of
Yes.
having zero laundry. It might be third week now.
Yes.
Zero laundry on the bin,
Yes. We
Right.
finally had that days now.
right?
Yeah.
And yeah, so like what Mel said, we started the day early. We had baptism, right, that we attended. Um, my inaanak Romy, right?
Yes.
We are so proud of the parents for having that baptism and first birthday party
Yes.
successful. And welcome to the Christian world, little Romy.
Yes. Yeah.
And
And Ninong will always be here for you.
mhm.
Anything that you need.
You're a lucky, lucky boy. Lucky boy.
Lucky boy.
Lucky, lucky boy. Anyways, and then right after the mass, baptism mass, it was so cool because the entire congregation actually joined uh, the uh, the sacrament, right?
Yes. Yeah.
And
Yeah. They started it. Ever since in the beginning, you were parking the car. They were in the foyer and then blessing the parents and
No
the
way.
godfathers.
Oh, just before we start the mass,
Yes.
right? Yeah, because I didn't get to see when the mass started.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was a unique experience because the actual baptism was right after the homily, right?
Yes.
So it was so
Yeah.
cool because everybody was there,
Yeah.
and that's like and he's the only one getting baptized, right?
Yes.
Normally you have
Yeah.
like multiple
Yeah.
kids that gets getting
Yes,
baptized,
that's right.
but I guess their town is a bit small, so there's not a lot of kids being baptized, I guess,
Yeah,
right?
it's in Cochrane,
Right.
Alberta.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And it's so nice because we're able to witness, right?
Another baptism.
Another miracle,
Yeah.
right? Of having to welcome, little Romy to our faith community, right?
Yes.
So
Yeah.
it was so cool that way.
Yeah.
And then right after that, we went to the reception, and the reception was about 20 minutes away from where the church was. So on reception, we have tons of friends that came.
Yes.
And we've never seen them
nice to see
in a
everyone.
while, right?
Yeah.
And we kind of miss them,
Yes.
and we want to mingle and chat with them
Yeah.
for a little while. But we committed to another service, right? Which is
Yes.
the CFC event.
Yeah.
And this is the conclusion of a 5 week, um, a 5 week what you call
Christian
this?
life.
Christian
program.
life program, right? So it's kind of like a seminar
Yeah.
of
Where couples
for
they.
yeah, for couples for Christ, right? and it's 5 weeks, and this is the conclusion of it, like the dedication.
Yes. Yeah.
And we've got a full band. That's why we're practicing last night.
Yes. Yeah.
It was so cool, you guys. The
Yes.
participants are over there, and and it was really, really. It's a really cool experience, right?
Yes.
To see brothers and sisters
Yeah.
being welcome to the
Yeah.
community.
There's all kinds of food like lomi, Bicol Express,
Right,
adobo,
right.
and fried chicken,
I didn't get to see a
lechon
lot of those, right?
chicken. Yeah,
Because
it
when
was
we were
gone.
done, it was like gone, right? It looks like
Yeah.
I was joking because it looks like the bottom of it is there's a hole in the bottom of it, and it
Yeah.
just
All
keeps
of a
spilling.
sudden, you see them empty.
Yeah, and yeah, there's another one that's this today. I just got a news from my work that we have a milestone that we
Yes.
actually
Yes. Yeah.
that we need to celebrate,
Yes.
right?
And
And we've been
congratulations.
working hard for this particular milestone for more than a year, and it was an awesome experience. Again, I was like almost crying when I
Yeah.
saw the news,
Aw.
and I was also so touched, right, that we
Yes.
finished. So I guess this weekend has been a full pack of of milestones of
Yeah.
awesomeness, right? That's why I always tell God is really good, right, for allowing us to experience these things, and God is so great that that it gave us the opportunity, right,
Opportunity. Yeah.
to witness this, right, to
Yeah.
experience it.
Yeah.
And hopefully it's the same way with our online business, right?
Yeah.
We are looking forward for the milestones of
Of
our
our
business
yeah
partners, of people
our
that
new mentors,
new
right?
mentors, yeah.
We can't wait to announce their new milestones pretty soon.
And just on the events, tons of friends are actually approaching us and they're asking, right, how to get started on this. All we can say is that really we can give you the information, but it's better for you to actually grab it,
Yeah.
right, and
Take
because
it one step at a time.
take it one step at a time,
Yeah.
because you would have your
The
own
full experience.
the full experience. You would
Yeah.
have your own interpretation
Yes.
of the information that you're getting,
Yes.
and based on that, we can't really
Yeah. And everybody
interfere, right?
started that way. We
Mhm.
started with the same thing as the new mentors who are
Mhm.
coming in, right?
And which is good because they're able to really think about it,
Yes.
and when they are ready and they're ready to hammer it, right, they chances are they become successful with it.
Yes.
A very good friend of ours just mentioned that she really want to do the business because she didn't want to go back to work, right, anymore. She wanted to stay home and stay with her kids,
Yeah.
to watch her kids and raise her kids,
Yes.
and really have an automated system that
Yeah.
runs in the background.
Yeah.
Um,
And this is the perfect business for that, right?
Mhm.
Because when I started the business, when DJ was already 1 year in the business, I was in my maternity leave as well.
right.
And at that time, I didn't want to go back to working and leaving the kids to the daycare or having for somebody else to watch our kids. So I needed to do something on the side so that I could at least support that income stream, that that could support the family,
That's
right?
right.
And this online business was a blessing for us because we have been 4 years now in the business, and it just keeps giving and giving to us.
Mhm.
We put in a couple hours a day, but in the beginning when we started this, we were hammering it. We were really doing the training, studying it, watching all these successful people
Mhm.
online, and really learning from them. And we're still learning until now. It's always a learning process, right?
Mhm.
Especially being able to hold our team together and hold them like bring them together with us so that
Mhm.
they too can be successful.
Right.
And we're learning that, and we love that our team is very accountable, they're coachable, they're really willing to learn, and they're progressing really well with the
Mhm.
business.
That's
And
awesome.
we're hoping that anybody who comes in as well, you know they're gonna be successful as
Yeah.
well. Yeah.
So on this business, we actually have a challenge, which is our 90-day challenge. And today we are in day number
33. Yeah,
33. Day
two
number
threes.
33. And what's the topic today?
Yeah, today is self-care and stress management.
Self-care and stress management. Yes. Oh my gosh, right? Stress management. There's a
Oh,
reason why there's management right beside
yes.
stress.
Yeah.
Because
We don't
stress,
want to get stuck with just stress.
self-care and stress, right? Um, and you know, stress management, because stress is kind of like it's like a gravity. It is a natural thing that occurs, right? And and the only way to really deal with stress is to accept that there's going to be stress, right, day by day, and there's going to be this this event, right, in your life. It's going to be stressful, um, but it's just the way that we manage it, right?
Yeah.
That's important. And it's kind of like how gravity works, right? Like Jack Canfield talked about this in his book, The Success Principle, and he talks about the law of gravity, in where, you know, when you throw a ball up, right, it's definitely gonna go down, right? Um, and you don't see us complaining about gravity. I mean, you don't see us a grandma, hunching like this and like saying, "Damn you, gravity!" Because of you, I wouldn't be hunching back. Hunching down, or we wouldn't blame the gravity. But why not, right? If because of gravity, you know, the planes wouldn't fall from the sky, right? Um, you wouldn't trip, right? uh, on the stairs, right? You can blame gravity if you want to, right? But we don't, right? In fact, we work with gravity. In fact, we work with it in such a way that we invented sports based on gravity,
Yeah.
right? Basketball is based on gravity. Golf is based on gravity.
Yeah.
Volleyball, everything that you could
Yeah.
probably think of
Yeah.
is based on gravity, right?
Yeah.
And so that's the same way how we handle stress, right? The way we look at stress is it's a natural law.
Yeah.
It is what
Everybody
it is.
deals with it.
Everybody deals with it,
Yeah.
right? It's just the way that you manage it. Maybe, and you know what? There are games that you can play around stress, right? Like
Stress management games.
right, stress management games. And the way you look at it really is that when you manage your stress, right, it's like a twin with self-care. So meaning
Yeah.
you're also taking care of yourself when you
Yes.
manage your own.
Oh, that's a great
when you're
idea.
when
Oh,
you-
that's why it's together.
That's right.
Self-care and stress management.
That's right.
Because when you're managing your stress, you're also taking care of yourself. That's a good idea.
Absolutely. So,
Okay.
what do you think? How do you manage your stress and self-care?
Well, I think for me, I would go look deeper why why that thing is stressing me out, right? Like, what is that thing that's stressing me out, and
Mhm.
why?
Mhm.
Right? And usually the most common cause of stress for my part
Mhm.
is when I don't get things done. So for example, when I have a homework, or
Mhm.
when I have a client that is like waiting on their on their taxes or something, like I would get stressed if that thing is not being done in, like, on the same day or something. Like, when I tell myself that I'm gonna get it done and it didn't get done, I would get stressed. So
That's true.
usually
Yeah. Like deadlines,
yeah, like
or
deadlines, or maybe when the kids need to eat,
Mhm.
right? And it's already like 1 o'clock and they haven't had their lunch, I
Mhm.
would get stressed. I'm gonna be like, oh, the kids haven't eaten yet, like it would stress me out. So I would, make sure that I get it done, like even though it's hard work sometimes,
Mhm.
but once I get things done, then I feel like a relief, just
Mhm.
like, whew, like you got something done, no more stress, and another thing comes up that needs to be done, and then, just
They
keep
become
on
stressful again
doing it.
until the stress is gone.
Yeah, so I guess just, yeah, on my side, yeah, usually the things that cause stress for me is when I don't get things done. So I tend to get things done as much as I can, so that way I don't get stressed.
Mhm.
Yeah, when I was in school for about a year, right?
Mhm.
Um,
For accounting.
yeah, I would
Mhm.
get stressed when there is a homework that I haven't done, and it was due the next day.
Mhm.
And the only solution for that is to actually sit down on my computer and get the homework done. And then once it's done, then it's a big relief for me.
Mhm.
And I told you that with self-care for me, when I get things done, that's self-care for me. Like I
Mhm.
feel good about myself
Wow.
because I got that done,
Sana
and I
all. Sana
yes,
all.
yeah. Like even
Right.
sometimes like feeding Amelia
Mhm.
for breakfast, when I finish feeding Amelia breakfast, I
Mhm.
feel good about myself because that's done. Now the next chore,
Sana
right?
all. um,
Yeah, yeah,
I've
that's
used
for me. And
that's a really good way of dealing with your stress, right? It's kind of like you're talking about stress in procrastination, and
yes, yeah,
stress in
procrastination really
is
stress.
very stressful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
stress.
I look at it in a different way. I look at stress in a different way because I look
Okay.
at it as two things, right? It's a bad stress and a good stress, right? To me, a bad stress is that when you procrastinate, right? When you
Yes.
know you need to do
Yeah.
something, you're not doing it,
Yeah.
then that's bad stress. Or if there's a screw up that happened, right? That that you knew that you're gonna fix, right? But you didn't do it, right? Um, that's also a bad stress, right?
Yeah.
If there's a calamity that happened, it's a bad stress. When there's a death in the family, right? It's a bad stress, right? So there's also good stress, right? Meaning, if you are working and if you are so excited, you want to finish a project, right? That's a good stress, right? Mel was talking about assignments and really
Yeah.
having it done, right? You need to make it. You need to do your assignments on or submit your assignments on time. These are all good stress, right? And it feels good when you finish it. I mean, if
Yes.
you're stressed out because somebody died, like how do you like when you
Yeah,
bury
like you
somebody,
can
then you can't,
you
like
can
you can't really, right?
revive
you,
somebody.
you know what I mean? Like you know what I mean? But again, but all of these stresses, whether it's a good stress or a bad stress, there's only one
That's
self care that I do,
yeah.
which is praying, right? So I pray a lot, right? I talk to God in my head or almost every moment, right? And the nature of my job is very stressful. And especially when you're building a system, when you're building a company, or you're talking to employers, you're talking to candidates. People are expecting, not expecting, but more of hoping for a result, right?
Yeah.
And
Or
then
managing people.
managing people, and these are things that are constant stress that can pile up, right? And the best way to really um, to really tackle all of that, right, isn't your brain or isn't even your team, right? It's not anyone, right? But there's only one being that can help you manage that stress, right?
Yeah.
Which is God.
It's prayer. Yeah.
And when God is in your side, when the Holy Spirit is within you, and when you're working with the Holy Spirit, right? When you're doing the task with the Holy Spirit, when you're working with God in mind, right? All of this stress goes away, right? Stress in terms of finances, relationships,
Mhm.
schedules, right?
Yes.
Lately we've had a ton of schedules, right? My calendar is booked, for the next, I don't know, 3 months, right? There's always going to happen in that particular month,
Yes.
right? And we are okay with that because we know that God is with us, and God will make things happen accordingly
Yes.
and based on His time, right? It's not
Mhm.
even our time that we count, right? It get you know it gets frustrating at times, especially when you're trying to work on something and you don't see the
The res-
fruition, right? You don't see the results.
yeah.
It gets very, very frustrating, and
Yeah.
that alone is a stress,
Yes,
right?
it is. That's true.
um, and the same way with our online business, right? When we're hammering it, like what Mel said, we're doing the work, and we're putting in the work, putting in the
Mhm.
time. um, it gets frustrating at times, right?
Yeah.
It's very, very stressful. There are times where I watch a particular mastermind that told me, there's a math, right? You spend this much, and you do this and you do
Yeah.
that, and you should be earning this much. And so I took that particular formula into a
Yeah.
wrong context, meaning I pretty much gambled with it, right? And crossed my fingers, hoping that um, that it would
Yeah,
work
it would.
out
Yeah, the
and
math will
will
work.
work out, right? It did eventually, by the way. So the
Yeah.
math worked out eventually, right? But
Right.
with proper way of doing it, right?
Yes.
But when I was doing it, I was rushing it.
Mhm.
I was anxious. I was so impatient. I was just, all over the place, and it was very stressful, right?
Yeah.
Those are unnecessary stress, right?
Mhm.
If I could have been more prayerful, if I could have been more patient,
Yes.
because if you're prayerful, if you're asking for God's help,
Yeah.
right? The natural tendency of it is to become more patient. You become more, relaxed. You become more, not logical, but more of reasonable, right? When it comes
Yes.
to time, your
Yeah.
goals, the timeline,
Mhm.
and all of a sudden, all the stress goes away, right?
Yes.
People ask me, right? How do you even do it, right? With all the schedule, with all the things, right?
Yeah.
And I say, you know what? I just trust God with whatever, with what He can provide with me, provide us,
Mhm.
and I'll do the work, right? I'll do the hard work, right?
You want me to open it?
So, you know,
Here you go.
stress management and self care comes hand in hand. What are some of the types of self care that you do?
Self care for me is spending time with the kids, right? Like, um, playing with Amelia, that relieves stress for me. If there are some things that I couldn't do, right? Like if I'm being pushy on my schedule, like I want it done right away, but sometimes um, the time just doesn't work out, like you have kids, I have kids, I have to make sure that I prioritize the kids first, right? And when I play with Amelia, the kids, spend time with them, then I realize, my priorities are still the kids, right? Like
Mhm.
the things that I needed to do for whether the business or for my clients, those things can be done on its own time.
Mhm.
But my family, my kids are my priority still,
Mhm.
right?
That's right. And one of the things that I do when I want to do self care is cook,
Mm. Yeah.
right? When you see me cook like 10, 15 dishes,
Yes.
then you know that I'm stressed,
Yeah.
right? And that I just really want to relax through cooking. Um, and I will cook everything. I'll cook
Yeah.
Indian food, Chinese food,
Yes.
Korean food,
Yeah.
Japanese,
Mhm.
whatever, right? I make my own sushi.
Yes.
I make my own pizza as
Bake your
well.
own bread.
I bake my own bread, right? So,
Are you
That's
hungry?
that's one
Okay,
way.
we're gonna go eat.
Okay, we're gonna go eat. Okay, we're gonna be done soon. Okay.
Yeah.
And so um, I used to, uh, Amelia is still my stress reliever for sure.
Yes,
Mhm,
yeah.
mhm.
Or self care for me too is like um snuggling. Like sometimes I snuggle with Lee J.
Yeah,
And
self care is also watching movies. I mean,
yeah,
nowadays
like
because of time constraint, I mean, we
mhm.
can't really watching movies and series, right? These are luxury stuff, right? Like we
Yeah.
can't, you know, it's really tough to find time, right? And
Yes.
sometimes when I watch movies,
This way.
I will have like, what's going on? It will take me like 3 nights to finish a movie. So,
Yes.
just
Yeah.
because how you know
Let's go.
how difficult it is for us to find time, right? So the other thing that I do is when I'm stressed and I really want to unwind, right? I wait till the weekend, and usually we go for hiking, right, during the summertime. During the winter time, I have an elliptical, and I usually just run on the elliptical for hours, or shovel the snow, right? Um, I find that self care exercise is also self care in a way, right? And what is that? What is she eating? No, don't eat that. It's bad. Yeah. Amelia is apparently hungry now, and so they're just munching on something on the pantry.
That's cheese.
So that's pretty much it, you guys. And if you want more of this content, let us know what topic you want to talk about. All of the topics that we talk about here um, are raw, unedited. There's no script, right?
Yeah.
We just say it as it is, right?
Yeah.
And when we connect on the topic and we experience something like this, we have a ton of things to say about it, right? But we are time constrained, meaning we only have about half an hour to do these lives. But we thank you for those
Yeah.
who are watching right now, and let us know where you're watching from,
Yeah.
and let us know how what are the types of self care that you do, and
Yes.
how you deal with
How you deal with
stress,
stress.
right?
Yeah.
For those of you who are just viewing us right now and doesn't know who we are, right? But you connected with us somehow.
Yeah.
Feel free to look around our Facebook page,
Mhm.
and and for those of you who wanted to join us, right, in our
Yeah.
business community, you can visit us at legiaandmelissa.com, or just basically
Yeah.
keep in touch with us, right? Message us, right?
Yeah. Yeah, reach out to us. But if you want more information, you can go directly to our website, www.legianmelissa.com. You'll be able to register for the webinar, the info session that we provide. It's all online, and it's done on Tuesdays and Thursdays. But if you are not available on those days, you can watch the replay as well. Yeah.
That's right. So thanks a lot for watching again, and be stressful. Be stressful. Have a stress-free
Free
week,
week. Yeah.
everybody. So thanks a lot for watching.
Yeah.
Have a great time.
Take
Take care.
care.
Bye bye.